sis.
Hey sis.
Hey, sister circle.
I'm your big sis April.
And I'm your little sis Tiffany. And we are Sister Talk Network podcast.
Sisters bridging the generational gap while encouraging candid conversations
And healing amongst women, friends, and sisters. You have a sister now.
Hey sis.
Hey sis.
Hey sister circle.
Hey sister circle. We back.
Yeah, I am your big sis April.
And I'm your little sis Tiffany. And welcome to Sister Talk Network, our podcast.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Hope everybody's having a good day. Look at my sis today. Don't she look beautiful?
Yes.
In her colors.
Yes. I don't know if y'all can see the shoes. We're going to do the zoom up on the shoes.
Show the shoes.
I'm talking about your shoes. Cause you got to come. We got them to come get them shoes. Like these are shoes. I ain't even going to say what I want to say.
Right. I already know. Like, did you see that?
We going to keep it a little bit censored.
Did you see that reel that Tabitha Brown did with her husband? You know, they have the Chance and Tab.
I seen like the little clip. They're so cute and spicy. I love them.
This was real spicy. I was like, okay, Auntie Tab. Well, she was talking about wearing sneakers all the time.
Okay.
And like, are you physically attracted to your spouse?
Mm-hmm.
So she said, like, when she was sick, she stopped wearing heels because it threw her balance off and she would fall.
Okay.
So she started wearing sneakers. If you notice, she always had on a cute little outfit, but she had on sneakers.
Yeah.
So she asked her husband, am I still attractive to you in sneakers? And he was like, girl, you could wear a trash bag and some sneakers. Ooh. And she was like, yeah, it's still go time, right? It's still go time. And he said, yeah. And she was like, but I'm going to wear them heels in the air.
Ooh.
And she was like, in the air. So he just kept talking. He didn't hear her. And then he was like, girl, did you just say? And I love that. I love that about
like
them.
I caught it. Yeah, I caught it after the fact. They're so cute.
Like I might not be able to walk in them, but
yeah, I ain't got to walk in them. Yeah, I can lay down and wear them.
That's funny. So it kind of brings us, and I didn't even think about that, how they just tied together.
Yeah.
But we wanted to talk about that, about attractiveness, but being attractive in other ways.
Yeah.
Spiritually attractive, specifically. Yeah. And what that looks like, unpacking it, what it looks like in us or what it should look like in us, what that looks like in others, and just how it affects our world and how we move on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. So what's your thoughts?
I think my perspective is I had to get out of trying to be appealing to people in perfection.
Physically or just
in all ways, like just having the personality to match each group setting, from having like, okay, well, I'm gonna have my shirt buttoned all the way up to here when I go to church, but then when I'm going out with my girlfriends, my behind is out. Like,
oh, I got
just attractiveness for me is just me being authentically who God made me, and also what He's still working on.
Right, and owning that.
Yes,
I got it.
And not just trying to portray myself as perfect according to what audience I'm looking, because everybody sees perfection differently.
Right.
So once I got to a point of this is me, you love it or you hate it, I'm working on the things that I know I need to work on, and the stuff that's revealed to us, because some stuff is not like, some people tell me something, I'm like, oh crap, I did not know that.
Yeah.
And just owning it and working on it. And I think that's the most beautiful thing, is people's progress.
Yeah.
And them just being like, okay, I know, because nothing is uglier. And if I'm being honest, going to marriage counseling and having an issue and feeling like I'm just constantly talking and nothing's being done. Like, you don't want to keep revisiting the same issue over and over again.
Yeah.
So getting to a point of nothing was more beautiful when we both had stuff we needed to fix, and coming to that realization of, okay, the light bulb clicked. Now I can fix it. And then once we got to the point where we wanted to fix it, then we were good. There was so much beauty in it.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing, because some people, we talk about this in other situations, but some people never get it. You know, and just in what you were talking about with the whole marriage counseling thing, like, just rings in my mind, because in becoming more spiritually attractive, made me reevaluate my relationship with my husband. And God was dealing with me. I told you, God dealt with me hard, and basically, telling me that during my marriage, I've never really been submissive to my husband. And I thought I was, but I really wasn't. And that I pretty much manipulated situations to get what I wanted, or I did what I wanted to do. So, in being spiritually attractive, needing to be that spiritual representation of God to him makes me now move different in how I go to him. Where we just had an incident of something like just recently where it was something I wanted to do. Like I wanted to get like a little small nose piercing.
Oh, I wanted to do
and
that.
Me, even 2 years ago, would have just came home, bling, like it would have just been there. Sorry, that's just who I was.
Yeah.
But feeling that nudge to go to him, so I go to him, and if he watched this, he gonna get me. But I go to him and I say, I want to get a really, really, really small, I'm trying to play it down, diamond piercing. And I see his posture change. So I'm like, how do you feel about that? What's your thoughts? He said, I don't like them.
Okay.
But because I'm still in progress, work in progress, I felt my blood boil because you can't tell me what to do in my mind. So I sighed really deeply and I walked away. Because I didn't even know how to process that, because old me would have just went off. You do stuff I don't, blah, blah, blah. So I talked to one of my friends and that's why I said you need different friends that can give you different insight. And she said, give him a minute to sit with it and go back and ask him why. And if his why is valid, then okay, that's something you shouldn't do. Yeah. But that thing had me messed up for days. You hear me?
That's hilarious. Because, I don't even know if I told... you knew I got my belly button pierced. But I don't think you knew the why behind it. Because I think you would have got him at the time. Because we weren't... First of all, we weren't married at the time. We actually separated. So this is like, I'm fresh. Like I think we were together for a long time. We separated for almost a year. But I think we were like in our first month of separation and just trying to come to terms with, okay, this is no longer mine. So he was going on vacation with one of his guy friends. And they both decided that they were going to get their tongues pierced. So they went together, got their tongues pierced, never said anything. So we're literally sitting in church. And when I tell you I never wanted to raise hell so bad.
Not in church.
I'm like, we Baptists, we tearing this church up today. Literally. I'm looking at him and I'm like, we got I always got the snacks. So I'm like, I'm pulling out the church snacks and he's like not eating them. And I'm looking at him like, what is going on? Yeah. And then when we left, he could barely eat. And I'm like, he's still not telling me what's going on. So when I finally see it, I like flipped out because that was something that he knew I hated. Okay. So it's just like, you already went and do that, but I have no stance on it because we're not together. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, bet. Because I wanted to get my belly button pierced before, but we were together. He was like, I don't like that. I had a 6-8 pack. So
he's like, it's gonna draw attention to your flat
he's like, you don't need to touch it. Don't touch nothing. I'm like, all right, bet. Not only did I go get my belly button done, I got the top and the bottom done because that's what I wanted. And the pain was minimal, but he was so upset. He had called me and he was like, I knew you were gonna do that. Yeah, because at the minute I still have a tendency to match, and God's still working with me on that with certain situations.
Match your energy on this, huh?
If you do something that I don't like, I'm probably gonna do worse. And it doesn't.
Y'all hear this?
And I mean, in certain situations, it's a good way because I want to get over solutions quickly. Yeah. So my husband naturally learns he's a vision learner. Where I'm auditory. So if you if I listen to something enough times, that's how I even learned in school. But he was visual, he was hands-on. Yeah. So knowing that in a relationship, it's just like, okay, if you do something and I keep telling you I don't like this, then I'm equated to something that you're going to be able to visibly grasp to where it's just like, okay, now you understand where I'm coming from. Yeah. Because like if I'm being completely honest, all right, you're sitting up here, you work you work, you're doing all these businesses, and then you want to come home and snap your fingers and turn me on like a light bulb. It don't work like that. But it's like, okay, but you want to snap your fingers and this house be clean, and you want to snap your fingers and do this. Okay, so I'm not doing this no more.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna equate one with the other. You think you're gonna get in? You think you're gonna get instant, but I can't get instant.
Right? No,
so
it don't work like that.
We gonna fix it. He got it after that.
Yeah,
like,
I'm sure he did. That was deep. That's
we
a
gonna
tough
fix
one.
it.
But yeah, for me, it was like, and I even had to look up. Okay, what's the definition of being spiritually attractive? And it was the biblical principles that we live by. So when I think of that right away, I think of the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, meekness. I can't think of them all.
Yeah.
But so it makes me look at things just completely different, even with him, because I am that representation of spirituality for him. Not everybody grew up in the church.
Yeah.
And how important it is, even on those days when like that happened, and I'm like, ooh, I just had to walk away because I can't give you spiritually attractive right now.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna walk away, and we're gonna revisit that later. So I'll circle back and let y'all know how that goes. If you see me blinging, you gonna know it went well. But
like, it went good.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Yeah, mine's when it comes to just like the whole spiritual aspect of it. That one where it talks about not keeping an account, like love does not keep an account on somebody, on the wrongdoing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, because naturally, if you trigger me, now it's not bringing up just what happened in that moment, but it's bringing up everything else.
Yeah.
So it's like, so it's like, how do you expect me to control that? And God was telling me, I don't expect you to control it. I expect you to give it to me when it happens and not act on it. Because my first thing is, all right, now we in an argument, and now I'm like, okay, but this situation looks like this, and this, and I'm going to run you down to therapy. Because I'm like, I could send
She always sending somebody to therapy.
Yes, I could say I can either send you to therapy in a good way or a bad way, but my mouth can send somebody to therapy.
Yeah, we don't want that. But I like what you said about God saying, no, I don't want you to do anything. I want you to give it to me. I passed the preaching on that, y'all. This whole month is like focusing on the power of God and how we try to take that power back instead of giving it to him, where he wants to work on our behalf in everything. Yeah. So on my mirror, we got those affirmations and that stuff up there. She said, and she had us repeating it, I trust the power of God to work in this situation, and just start naming those situations. Wow. So that's what I'm doing every day. And that's what we have to do. And we were just talking about this earlier, where we say we're giving stuff to God, but we're not, like we're still trying to handle it on our own because it's so uncomfortable, and it brings anxiousness and like all of those things when we really try to give it to him, instead of just being uncomfortable for a minute and allowing him to work. Yeah. So that's where I am now. And I'm just like, okay, God, I hear you. I'm giving it to you. Even when those thoughts come. And like yesterday I'm driving, and you know how your brain is like all of these crazy thoughts. And I let them go for about 30 seconds. And I'm like, oh, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So I started saying, I trust the power of God to work in the situation, and started naming them. And then started praising God. Yeah. And then it was gone. And I probably had to do that like 10, 15 times a day. And I'm gonna keep doing it until it's gonna get better. Like I trust it's going to get better. And I want to circle back to something else you said that I thought was amazing. You mentioned like being spiritually attractive and being authentic. And people seeing that authenticity, which is attractive to them, even if that means they're seeing your shortcomings. Like we're always so concerned about the opinion of others because of the stigma that's been attached with the church of you have to be perfect. Where somebody that's not necessarily walking with God, I think would appreciate more you being transparent with your struggles and saying, this is where I'm at, but I'm trusting God.
Yeah.
So that's the hard part. And for me, if I'm honest, like I struggled with that in the beginning because it's like, oh no, I'm not going to do this around these people because I don't want them to think XYZ. So it was to the point where, and I like to have a glass of wine sometimes, but if I was in certain company, and it depends on the audience, but if I was in certain company, I wouldn't have it. But okay, then am I being just fake? Pretty much. I'm being fake.
And depending on my audience, some people cringe when I do this, but I ask.
Okay.
Like if I'm
Will you
out,
be offended?
yeah. Like
That's
if I'm out, because I do know, like just a blanket one. You know, Bishop Evans was at our wedding, and when we started popping bottles, he had to leave.
Time to go.
And it wasn't that he was condemning anybody that was there. He said, "I can't have a snapshot of somebody taking a picture and I have nothing to do with it, but somebody take a picture and now I'm perceived as I'm partaking because of what I was around."
Right.
That's
good.
I respect that he even, because he didn't have to give a reason for why, but it made me be like, okay. So I just like blatantly ask, like, okay, because I do know there's certain people that I'm around, and some people have even signed contracts where they're elders and ministers in the church, and they cannot, underneath any circumstance,
that's different because
drink.
People are watching. People are really watching.
So I don't ever want to be in a situation where, all right, I have a glass of wine and it's got to be on this side so that you
take a picture.
Somebody's not taking a picture or anything. So I'll just ask, you know, is this okay? And if it's not, okay, cool.
Yeah,
but when I drop you off, I'm gonna go home and I'm
here she go, y'all. That's so good. I'm glad you mentioned that, because people in ministry, if we're going to be honest, they're held to a higher standard. There's no way around it, because people are watching, they're judging, and those things. So that's a good thing. You know, like honestly, where I am right now, and I talked to you about this, that God is challenging me to not do anything, not even have a glass of wine. So I'm walking in that now, because, and it's not because I can't have a glass of wine, because I can. The Bible says don't be drunk. It doesn't say not to have a glass of wine. But he's challenging me to totally rely on him. And it can't be, oh, I had a bad day at work, so I'm going to have a glass of wine. Because then I'm trying to take the power back, or I'm trying to numb something instead of just sitting in it and truly giving it to him. But I'm not condemning anybody for having a glass of wine, because everybody's walk is different. And I think we have to respect that.
Absolutely.
Period.
Yeah. Like, listen, what's for you is for you and not somebody else.
Yeah.
But everybody want to be like, oh, well, I can't have one, so you can't have one either. Yeah.
No, everybody's walk is different. And I think that's one of the key points about being spiritually attractive is how other people perceive us. And one of those things is no judgment. You know, like if somebody sees me and I'm judgmental, I'm not walking in love, the fruits of the spirit, how am I spiritually attractive? You know, like we can do all kinds of other stuff, like, you know, just being kind to somebody, giving them something, doing things. But if I'm walking around with the mean face all day, how am I spiritually attractive?
And some people, I just have, like, you know, they call it the resting face. I ain't gonna say it. But like, just having a resting face of, if there's a lot on my mind, I do realize now I come off unapproachable. Like, don't talk to her. She going through something. But I think like maybe the last 2 days, if I see somebody and they look completely angry, I'm speaking to them.
Okay.
And at one time I got told off, and I'm like, it took everything in me to be like, I'm
you bold.
I person to be telling off. But I got a good feedback from it, because you never know what somebody else is dealing with or what they're going through. And I'm coming across that majority of the people aren't mean. They're just life is like, how to be like, life is lifing right now. Life is lifing. Economy went up. It's $20 some for some eggs. Everything went up. So it's like, people are out here just trying to figure out how to make it work.
I know yesterday my day was not so good, so I'm out at the store and feeling like I just want to have resting face, but deliberately trying to like smile and, you know, smile at people and not look that way, but inside I'm like, that's not what I feel. So I don't know. Like, do we push past it and say anyway, or do we just allow ourselves to sit in that moment for the moment?
I think if it's for other people, then I say absolutely not. Yeah. I'm not doing anything for the comfort of somebody else anymore. Yeah. Like, if it's something that, okay, I need to put on a smile on my face so I can internally change me, and that's what's going to work for me, then I'll do it. But I'm no longer to a fault, because I'm just like, if I'm not happy with you, I'm not happy with you. You going to feel it, and you going to know it, not because I'm trying to force you to make you feel it, but because that's just where authentically I am right now. I'm not feeling it. Like, I'm not going to pretend like kids. Like, I had a rough week with them. Everybody's fighting everybody, and I'm like, I'm not happy with them this week. I don't want to be around them this week. I want to skip past this week because they're getting on my nerves. And I didn't want to go out and feel like, oh, my kids are absolutely joy and they're perfect, and I love them, yes, but they were triggering the heck out of me all week long. And it's like, it's okay to have a imperfect moment and just be like, I'm just going to.
That's true. I'm glad you said that, because the why is important. And I wasn't doing it for me. It was like, how are these people going to perceive me, which we're trying to get away from, if I'm walking around and I'm not smiling or showing like happiness. But I'm just cautious because of something I heard. I was listening to a message, and he said, I don't even know what church it was. It was a really small church, something I found on YouTube. But he said, a spiritually searching world needs a spiritually attractive church. So just in like being guided in those instances where I need to give that smile, like that might be the only smile somebody gets that day. Or is it something that I'm just doing? Am I doing it because I can do it, or am I doing it because God says this is what you should do? And knowing the difference.
Tim Ross is one of my favorites, and when I tell you, I was like, oh, I had to watch, because I caught the snippet of it, and I had to watch the whole episode. Because when he said his name is 𝓱𝓮𝓪𝓭𝓪, oh, he was really like, I'm going, but he was talking about he's talking about gay people in the church.
I saw that. They were protesting, right?
Yeah, outside. And I loved...
Tell his sisters about it.
I loved what he said.
Me too.
Because he was talking about the protesters, and there was this whole church meeting, and they were trying to figure out, like, how are we going to deal with this situation?
How do we handle the gays? Yeah. That's the way he said it.
Like, it's... He was, and then he started talking about everybody else skeletons. You're trying to judge them based off of this because you don't agree with their lifestyle, but the foundation is everything being in love. Like, we have to walk in love. Their sin just happens to be outright, or what their life choices, because I'm not about to tell somebody which one is a sin and which one isn't, but their life choices are just out in the open. He said, your stuff is in the closet. So he went out there and he's like, I'm hugging everybody today. I'm going out there and I'm hugging everybody. And I absolutely love it.
I love that too. I love that. And I'm sure a whole lot of people cringe, but so what? And I mean, we know what the Bible says about homosexuality and that it is a sin. But how or who are we to hold that sin in any higher regard than somebody that's committing adultery, somebody that's telling a lie, somebody that's eating too much? Like, it's no, it's not right that they do that.
And love covers a multitude of sins.
Absolutely. It covers it all.
You multiplying your own stuff because you out there, oh, look at them. Look what they doing.
And God loves them.
But you going out and laying with somebody's husband, but some damn want to talk about somebody being gay and faithful.
Hello.
Like, I'm just like, what?
That's what we are not going to do. Like, no judgment whatsoever.
And I think that's spiritually attractive. That's beautiful. Like, just having that amount of love, and some people are harder to love than others, but just having that, I'm gonna love you. I might have to love you from over here. But I still love you.
Love you. Yeah. It's so important for people to see that, because again, like we always say, that may be the only representation they have of God. So are we going to be the cause of them saying, no, I'm good? Or are we going to show them love?
there's this one person, I didn't mean to do this,
Uh-oh.
but there's this one person, and they are very spiritually attractive. Their love just like outpours, even on social media. So I can't even imagine what it would be like being around that person. But they were grounded in that. Their mother is that. And this person is somebody who transitioned. So like they transitioned
from man to woman, or
from he was born a man, he transitioned into being a woman, and just went through the whole facial reconstruction surgery, and just to identify as she, because I don't want to get pronouns wrong, but identifying as she. And she was, after she was going through all of this stuff, she talked about how she was going through depression, suicidal thoughts.
After the transition?
No, before.
Okay.
Because of stuff that was said to her about her family. Her family is very, I don't want to say religious, because there's no spiritual in that. When you are telling somebody out and out they're going to go to hell for their choices. But you got sin, and if we're weighing everything the same, we could all go to the same place if we don't get that right.
Yeah.
And I was, when I see in a post, I'm like, oh my God. Went into the DMs, did an outpour of love, got a comment back, and now that's my wifey. I'm like, hey, wifey. Hey, boo, how you doing? Because I just, and everybody would say that's so controversial, but I love her. I absolutely love
and why wouldn't you? Like,
because,
she's human first
and exhibits more godly love than a lot of people who sit up there acting like they walking the straight and narrow. Like, nobody's really walking the straight and narrow. Somebody cut in front of you cussing them out.
How is that any different? But like you said, love covers a multitude of sins, and that situation is between them and God. And I do believe that one touch from God can change everything, and I have seen people be delivered from it. But if not, guess what? That's between them and God. Right. And we have nothing to do with it. And we have no heaven or no hell to put them in, and I don't believe that, and this is just me, don't cancel me. I don't believe that people that are homosexuals and accept Christ and love God are going to hell. I don't believe that. That's just my opinion. Everybody has a different opinion, because to me, it's the same as, you lying every day, but you accepted Christ, you love God, but you think you going to heaven. Yeah. Sin is sin is sin. Yeah. That's just how I feel about it, and that's my opinion. So don't cancel me.
And didn't having so much hate, like I just, you see certain people and their whole aura reads hate. Just like how you can see love, you can see hate too. Yep. And just walking around. So there's this show. So one of my favorite shows is called Lie to Me. It was on Netflix. And they talk about body language and the certain facial expressions people make no matter what nationality or creed you are. Okay. And if one of like just lying or trying to cover something up. And one of them is disgust. Disgust is the most, I think it is, it's the most recognizable facial expression. Really? Regardless of what nationality you are. And they make this face and they go, okay. And it's like if you watch now, you'll be able to see it. But because now it's apparent to me, and I see people, and I'm like, you don't wipe that look off your face, and you recognize because I'm reading people's faces. You
recognize it right away, and that's something that I notice. Like even going deeper into a walk with God, how attractiveness is totally different for me now. The way I look at people. Because at first glance, when you look at a person, the first thing you see is their outward appearance, their face, their clothes, and, whether it's attractive or not. But now, like I see so much deeper. And it may not be just at a glance, but as soon as you start talking, it's like, oh no, your soul is dark. Yeah. You're not spiritually attractive at all. or you are a beautiful bright light. Like I was just telling you about a young lady that I hadn't seen for a few years. She's only 9. And her grandfather brought her over to my house. And when I tell y'all her light is so bright, I can't wait to see who she's going to be, like once she gets older. But just the beauty inside, like I can't even tell you what she had on that day, but just recognizing that beauty, but it goes both ways.
Yeah,
light and dark.
They I don't know. I don't even know what podcast they was. They said Lucifer was the most beautiful angel. Absolutely,
he was.
Yeah, there was no ranking of angels, but it's like he was one of God's favorites. Yeah, he was one of God's favorites. Like he created him, and the only one that could make music come out of his body, like absolutely beautiful. You know how God looks at worship. Yeah. So like to create somebody that embodies all worship.
Yes.
Like but then look what happened.
Yeah. Thief come to steal, kill, and destroy y'all.
It's like you think people are coming in their natural form, like no,
and they're beautiful on the outside, like you said. It was beautiful on the outside, but just like dark. Yeah. And I've heard people say that, like that the enemy doesn't come in that form that we see, that ugly form. It's like a bright light, or something beautiful, or it's always disguised as something that's appealing.
Yeah, I actually screenshotted a comment. I don't even know what post it was on, but I screenshot it because it brought so much light to me about that. He was like, the enemy is not coming to you with horns and a red light. He's coming to you as something that's going to make you let your guard down. Yeah. And I was like, oh.
And we've all experienced that.
Yeah.
And then you look back and you're like, what just happened here? Yeah. We've all experienced it. But I mean, even in relationship, intimate relationships, where like you may see somebody who from the outside just looks, he's gorgeous, and then they start talking and it's like,
you be like, get away from me. Like, step back.
I'm good, but just a beautiful package on the outside.
Yeah.
And all
I was about to name an actor, but I'm not even gonna do it. But you see these, it's hilarious to me, and I'll just say this because I feel like society will drag a woman before they drag a man. And there's like this beloved actor, and I love him too. Like you talk about Homeboy is fine, he fine, but I'm like, now I'm looking at it and they say the problem is this one female, you know how she has the NDA for not being able to disclose. I ain't naming no names, but I'm dropping hints today. Like, she has the NDA where you can't talk about their relationship. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, what's wrong with her? And what's wrong with this? But I'm like,
what's wrong with him?
Yeah.
Because it's now been a couple. Like, he's had a couple relationships and they always end up walking away.
Yeah, why they running? Because, you gorgeous.
Something. And then from the outside looking in, can we go a little bit deeper? We ain't going to name no names, but it appears that he's doing everything right.
Yes, the aquarium dates, renting out stuff. Bought the house that was absolutely gorgeous. Yeah,
it's got to be. There's something deeper there that maybe one day the real will come out, but it has to be something more.
I'm gonna cry when it do.
I know. Like, we don't want to know. We don't want to know.
Not this one.
Yeah, but I think that spending time with God, first of all, changes us spiritually from the inside out, and it ignites something in us. Yeah, like just. I was out to dinner with some friends on Sunday that I hadn't seen for quite a while. And one of them said to me, it was just an average day. I had on my little faith dress and my sneakers and,
That's a cute outfit.
Yeah, but she said...
That's a shame I know her outfit.
Yeah, right. Because I don't have a lot of clothes, y'all. I gave my clothes away. I'm wearing my clothes now. That's right. But... had a headband around my hair because, it was curled a little bit. Yeah. And she said... I am loving all of this. And I'm like, what? And she was like, your skin, she was like, I just love it. But God was reminding me, she's not even looking at the outside. Like, she's really seeing the inside. And I was just, oh God, I thank you. I thank you because that's what I want people to see. Like, I want them to see him and me. And, every day I don't work out like that.
Yeah.
And he's really challenging me to be more spiritually attractive in corporate setting, which is hard for me because it's business,
Yeah.
But what he's challenging me with is something that we talked about on a previous episode, where it was a Maverick City, and one of the girls said that if she's about the kingdom business, she can't be Puerto Rican first. She can't be a woman first. She has to be about kingdom business.
Yeah.
So he's challenging me that they have to see him first.
Okay.
And it's hard because in some situations, it's combative.
Yeah.
But no, it can't be combative. So my struggle is real right now.
Like, they gotta see. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like, they gotta see him first.
Ooh,
And they know what that means, because if you don't have that relationship, or if you lose sight of that relationship, then you don't even know where to start or what that looks like.
Yeah. But it just takes me back to what I was saying with my pastor, the series she's on. And I just love how God always aligns everything up with where she is trusting God's power to work in us. Because it's clearly, he always asks us to do something or things that he knows we can't do. And that's what she was saying. Is God asking you to do something right now that you can't do? Yeah, girl, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Sarah J, she was like, I just want to feel like I got this. And he's like, well, if you got this, you don't need me.
For.
Yeah.
So, it really turning that power over to him and allowing his spirit to flow through us.
Yeah. I remember having somebody said something that triggered me, and they was pushing buttons, and I was like, I want to cuss you out so bad right now, but I'm gonna give me 5 minutes. Don't talk to me now. If you talk to me in these 5 minutes, you go get the business. But give me 5 minutes, because I'm like, did you just say what I think you just said to me? Like, are you kidding?
But how much growth is that?
Yeah, because they would have, completely different.
Not react in the way that you normally would. So, okay, sisters, we challenging you to, like, what can you do this week or in coming weeks to be more spiritually attractive? Like, what does that look like? For me, I think about, like, just acts of kindness, just doing stuff for people, or just speaking to people, showing joy. Like, even when a situation doesn't necessarily line up with that, but being deliberate in, no, this is the way I have to move.
Yeah. It's not easy. And I feel like the more we challenge ourselves to do that, more crap hits the fan.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you gonna try to be happy now? Okay, we're gonna see. Yeah. You gonna try not to cuss somebody out? Okay, your car about to get tore up 10 times while you hit this road. We gonna see if you still not cussing and wanting to get out the car and fight. Like, yeah.
And I think a lot of that comes with, well, I should say for me, like, once I got to the point where my purpose is clear, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, nonsense just gets on my nerves. Like, I don't want to settle for it anymore, but it's, and I don't think we're supposed to, but it's how we handle it. And we talk about being deliberate and walking in love and all of that stuff. So
I remember you telling me, you was like, no, you seeing a whole lot more stuff than you were seeing before, because like, now you see the nonsense. Now you just be like, I know you did not just say that. Like, I'm not gonna let you, stuff I was allowing and stuff I'd be like, okay, it just floats over. I'm like, that's not floating no more. Yeah,
because what we were saying, like, when you're intimate with God, like, he ignites something in us where we just see everything completely different. It's like the blinders are off. So something that you would have been oblivious to a year ago, it's like, no. That's not going to fly. But, okay, now how are you going to react? Are you going to be spiritually attractive with your reaction? Or are you going to be old Tiffany? That's where the challenge comes in.
I
walk away like me and like,
I got to separate. Like, I got to separate. I haven't gotten to where I can maneuver in the situation yet. And I know I'll get there. But I'm just like, nah, like, you got to, I need to remove myself. Because I'm about to fail this test.
Yeah, and that's what I had to do. That's what I was telling you, even with the situation I talked about in the beginning. Because I knew I couldn't process it, I just got to walk away. And I was seething for days until I finally let it go. But just because the way I typically react, oh, I'm going back. We gonna talk about this now. No.
Yeah, that's how I've been.
No.
Yeah.
You gotta let it ride.
And I wanted to get my nose pierced, but one of my girlfriends got her nose pierced, and our nose is naturally thicker. So she said, like, getting that needle through is completely different. It's like 3 layers of crunch
that
I
heard
have
it
to
was
go
painful.
through. And I'm like,
but it's quick. I'm sure it's quick. But we'll see.
Like,
I don't know. That might not be happening because
that's the only thing that stopped me.
Okay.
But
how you think he would feel about that?
What about me getting my nose?
Think he'd be all right?
Oh no, he would have an absolute.
So
he would have an absolute fit. Like, you want to touch your face. Like you said, if he's mad about makeup on my face, he daggone sure gonna be mad about something that's permanent. He be mad about the eyelashes. Like,
so she not doing it, y'all?
No, I'm not doing it because I don't want the pain.
Yeah.
But like, even. Like, okay, for instance, if it's something that's meaningful for me, so like, for instance, I want the tattoo of my kids, and I want either a butterfly or a heart for the child that we lost.
Oh, that's nice.
So for that, I'm thinking more so the heart, just because when I did the balloon release, one of those balloons was a heart.
Yeah.
So I want to do like a little balloon heart.
Nice.
In the middle of like where the baby, and then like have the string like circle around all the kids.
Oh.
So that you can't tell me.
Yeah, no, I'm all about tattoos if they're meaningful. Yeah. Like, I made the mistake of just being out with a girlfriend one day, random, and just got a tattoo that means absolutely nothing. Yeah. I'm not for, but I do believe in meaningful tattoos. And I want another one that's meaningful.
He don't like tattoos. He's just like, you would think he would be tatted up.
Yeah.
But he loves tattoos, like looking at them. But he did say, I have an addictive personality, so I have to be careful with what I'm addicted to. So
he recognizes it.
Yeah, he's like, I'm addicted to going to the gym. Yeah. Like, there's certain foods, like, all right, them honey buns and them brownies. Oh, he addicted to it, but they go kill him. He's like, I like my cars, I like my bikes. All right, that's healthy. Right. So he's like, I'm not gonna go get one tattoo because one tattoo is gonna turn into 15. So I'm just not gonna do it. Yeah. But I think he would be okay, like me just saying, this is the reason why I want to do this.
Yeah, and I think he would too. If you gave him that reason, I think he would be okay with it.
Yeah.
He will be okay.
I think it will be him taking it on himself and doing a Google search and be like, well, this is the best tattoo artist, and I think you should have it this color. And I think because you
should get this. You should get this design.
Like it's his tattoo.
Yeah. Then everything is going to change.
Yeah.
And it was, it was mine. I told Tiff she should get this.
Yeah. Yes. That's what it's going to That's what it's going to turn into. Yeah. Like, it's going to be him sharing in that experience. And, like, he's living through me. Like, okay, I can't get one, but since you want one, I'm going to be a part.
Yeah, that's true.
But, yeah, that's
all right. I think we should start to wrap up.
That's a good one.
That's a good topic. Good challenging topic.
Yeah.
The timing was perfect with the things that we're going through. So we challenge you to take this journey with us on being deliberate and being more spiritually attractive to the people you come in contact with, whether it be your spouse, your children, in a corporate setting, just people you see on the streets, and remembering that a spiritually searching world needs a spiritually attractive church. And I'm going to find that minister so that we can give him his props, because it was some little small church that I saw that with. So we'll wrap up with giving our keyword for what sisterhood means to you today.
About that part. I completely.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first. I need a minute.
All right, that's all right. So for me, when I was thinking about sisterhood this morning, the word that rang in my mind was community. And a community is people that live together collectively in one space, or people that share some type of attribute or like mindset. So sisterhood, we talk about like-minded women. So it is our community of women that are like-minded. Like, we're healing, we're building, we're growing, we're doing all those things together. So I love y'all, my community, sister circle.
Mine is rawness. I say that because like one of my friends is going to therapy and she's going through a situation where her therapist asked her to strip everything. No lashes, no eyebrow. You know who this is, so you know. She like, I just want an eyebrow pencil. Can you talk to them? And I try to talk to them. They like, no, best friend, get off the phone. Get off the phone. But like, just stripping down and getting to the rawness
of who you are.
Yes. And this platform, I'm literally at my rawness. Like I'm really at, like, this is how I am. Take it or click off. And just the community that God's built around us. And finding those, like I always talk about the like-minded people and the God-ordained people and just God showing us our path.
Yes.
And just having that rawness in your sisters and just being like,
that's good.
No lashes, bind it on, no makeup.
Yeah.
Ugly t-shirt. This is who I am. And you really get to see who a person is at their what we call our ugliest form.
Right.
Like when we're going through, like, yeah, of course you see me, I had COVID. Like that was my that was my ugliest
but
form.
Just get into the core of who we are. And just to end with something else, Tabitha Brown. Hey girl. I love her.
Hey, I want her on here so bad.
Well, we're speaking into existence.
Yes.
Talking about like her raw moment of really come to Jesus. Like, you know him, but that moment where it's like, okay, all bets are off. I'm giving you everything. I surrender. And literally being in the bathroom and looking at herself in the mirror for like 10 minutes or more. And how uncomfortable it was, because like looking into your eyes and you're seeing everything behind it, the hurt, the pain, like just all the rawness, like you said. But she left that bathroom a different person and she's never been the same. So I'm believing that the same thing is going to happen for your friend. Yeah, it is. It is. All right, so we're going to wrap up there. We are going to be spiritually attractive going forward. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you soon.
See you.
Bye.